Welcome to Details. We are in the Magic of Disney Animation building this week, having a closer look at the Meet Minnie Mouse. It's here in the queue I want to focus on all of the details. We look around these walls and look around these posters, and we'll find there's a lot of stuff hidden here. Let's begin here. We've got things like squeaking in the rain, a pun obviously on singing in the rain, and you can see there are Disney characters listed in the credits. Now this continues for several of these posters. This one's obviously like Mary Poppins. But it's when we get to some of the lesser known movies that things start to get interesting. Let's have a closer look at the credits of this particular poster. In addition to Mickey and Minnie and Donald Duck and Daisy and so forth, we see mention here also of Ludwig von Drake, or Drake Mallard. So we're getting into the lesser known Disney characters, in this case from DuckTales. This poster, obviously a riff on Casablanca, includes mention of other Disney characters, small ones like Clarabelle Cow or Horace Horsecollar, going way back to the beginnings of Disney animation. The Bride of Frankenmouse, or Frankenstein of course, if we look closely at the credits at the bottom, we see that this one, in addition to mentioning Scrooge McDuck, Piglet Pete, and so forth, says that it is produced by Mortimer Mouse. Now Mortimer, of course, was the original replacement mouse after Walt Disney lost Oswald, and before he created Mickey Mouse. Mortimer is actually mentioned in more than one of these. Here's Mortimer again as the person who presents Ludwig von Drake's Cleopatra. Now here is one of the more interesting posters, and lots of things for us to look at here. Let's begin at the top where you see that it's this movie is premiering on July 17. Well, that's not an accident. July 17 is the opening date of Disneyland in Anaheim, way back in 1955. Now this poster about the Jungle Cruise is actually about the Disneyland Jungle Cruise. You can tell in two ways. First, the Trader Sam in the corner is the visual representation of their two of his heads for one of yours, that guy, the trader. And secondly, the piranhas leaping up out of the water next to the boat. That's a feature they have in the Anaheim Jungle Cruise, but not in Orlando. Several things to watch for here in the Mouse Pacific poster. First, we see a representation of the Orlando Tiki Room over on the side next to the words, and in fact the orange bird flying just overhead. Then if we look at the credits, we'll see the Sherman Brothers are mentioned, of course. They're the famous songwriting duo. But then in the names below Mouse Pacific, we see the actual names of the actors used for the Tiki Room birds, mixed in with the bird names themselves. So, for instance, Wally Bogue is in there, and we see Wally's name mixed with the character that he plays at the Tiki Room. Now here is one panel that shows both Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, that's at the top, and Mortimer Mouse. So that's a representation of what the original replacement for Oswald was before Walt kind of changed the name to Mickey Mouse and also changed the way he was drawn. Mortimer was a little bit more of a rat. There are actually fewer inside jokes once you get inside the meeting area itself. It's really more about the character at that point. So if you're going to dwell at this attraction, spend the time doing it in the attractions queue area and looking around those posters.